Today on the grid, it's How Would I Edit Your Photo Day, where viewers have submitted unedited images, and I'll take them from start to finish using Lightroom and Photoshop and whatever else I got on my computer. Is the Kuna Man here today? I believe so. Is he here now? I think not. More on that in a moment. But until then, we have something new to reveal. We have news, we have some super cool prizes, and it all starts in just 23.8 seconds. Let's go.
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
But
Well, I mean, at least
I got stuff. Oh, there it is.
Hey! Oh!
Hey.
Hey, look, Eric's here. So we had a role reversal today.
Yep, we did.
Mr. Kuna just squeaked in, was not able to change clothes or anything because he was at that manned launch last night that left at almost 4 in the morning.
It's a crude launch is what we
Crude
call
launch.
it
Sorry, I'm
nowadays.
sorry. It's
I
not
know.
manned space exploration now. It's a crude launch.
Yes.
It was a SpaceX launch for NASA.
Yes,
No,
it was
yes.
the SpaceX launch for NASA to the International Space Station on their Crew Dragon vehicle.
Crew Dragon vehicle, yes. And Mr. Kuna was there to photograph it. I talked to him last night late, and he was like, I'm going to go take a nap, and then I'm going to set my alarm and get up at, 3 in the morning or whatever.
It was at 11 at night to go shoot the astronauts leaving, then waiting a few hours to go get up on the VAB, then go get our remote cameras, and then I drove back here.
And barely made it. just squeaked in here just a minute ago. But we're glad to have you here.
Yep.
Before we go any further, we have lots to talk about real quick. And, of course, today is How Would I Edit Your Photos Day, so we'll get to that in just a sec. Let's see some pictures. Mr. Kuna was over at the launch. I really like these pad pictures you got.
So
I saw these on your Instagram.
I haven't had a chance to edit a lot of the ones from the launch, but I did go out at sunset because they were rolling back. I don't know if they have my screen. Maybe. No, I've got it launched.
Hold on, we're trying to get Mr. Kuna's screen.
I got it launched.
Any luck?
Any luck? Oh, wait. Hold on.
Wait, there's the thing.
Hold on. Maybe now. Try it now.
It's the screen with a rocket on it. It's not the other one.
It's the screen with the rocket. So we got to go out at sunset, and they were rolling back the Artemis rocket. This is the one that's going to go to the moon. So planned it out. We actually took a boat offshore, planned the sun behind it, then leaking through. Was able to get. Then also that was the one that launched this morning. So that was the one on the pad the night before at sunset.
That's not nearly as pretty.
Yeah.
That's
And then there was this one, right? But really what I want is there's a time that this shot will happen, right? And that would be a cool shot. So I actually I faked that. But,
You put the moon in there.
But that actually will happen. I've got it on the calendar.
Sure,
And then we were able
it will.
to take pictures of the rocket coming back. This is the rocket rolling back, and then you see the other rocket in the background. Then I took kind of a sequential long exposure. Well, actually, this was a multiple exposures, just showing the motion of the rocket. But then this was the launch this morning. So this is, and these are unedited. They're really kind of raw, down and dirty photos. But that was from the launch this morning. That's from the top of the VAB.
That's the Vehicle Assembly Building.
Yes.
For those of you who don't work in acronyms like
Yes.
Eric.
And then there's that's the rocket. That's the second stage. You see that little point of light. There's 4 astronauts riding on top of a vehicle there, and that's out in the upper atmosphere. And then you can actually, I caught this, which I've never caught before, but you can see this blue section down here. Kind of, there's a purple and then there's this blue section. You can't see my cursor, but the blue section on the back, that's actually the booster boosting back, which I've never caught at night. You can catch it at twilight and stuff like that, but able to catch it at night. And then that's it kind of going up even farther in the atmosphere. And then some shots, again, these are I haven't even got a chance to really mess with them. That one's interesting. That shot is actually from the original Canon 1D.
Wow.
So that's a 21-year-old camera
How
now.
many megapixels?
5.
There you go.
So, and then was able to just do some different stuff. I tried some different stuff with this launch. You know, did a streak of the rocket taking off. But yeah, that was it. I haven't gone through a lot of them. That's the ones that's just so far that I've picked out.
My favorite is I love that the other one that's going to the moon.
Oh yeah, this one is a very photogenic subject. Yes.
Yeah, it's like it looks like a cross between the Apollo and the space shuttle.
Yes. Well, and actually, it really is. Like if you think about it, it is a cross. The side boosters are kind of the space shuttle side boosters, and then the main engine in the middle actually has the space shuttle engines in it.
Wow,
that's what they're using to fuel that center
I really
stage.
like that. That's a neat shot right there.
Oh, thanks.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for showing this, Mr. Kuna. All right, let me go through some real quick things. All right, first, big news, big reveal. Ready? I'm sitting in a new chair. They got me a new chair. It's delivered. Look, I'm not going down. It's just like it's great.
What?
It's very exciting.
What?
Okay, that's cheating. That's manually doing it. All right. But anyway, I have a new chair. Thank you to Christina and my crew for getting me a chair that actually sits up. I shared a picture on my Facebook page last week of my little head. Like Eric's way up here, and I'm like,
funny.
It was a long show. Anyway, so we got a new chair, so that's good. So what else? Oh, I am off to Prague Saturday. You guys have heard me talk about my Prague workshop. For 2 years now, that was supposed to happen in 2022. We're finally getting to go. So I'm taking a group of 12 photographers. Myself and Kelby One instructor Mimo Madani are going to be joining them. We're leaving, or I'm leaving Saturday, and then I arrive Sunday in Prague, and I'll be doing some shooting and some. Jason's going with me, so our director for the grid here is going with me, and we're going to record some classes over there.
Yeah, so you got some cool travel photography classes coming for Kelby One.
Classes coming from on location in Prague, and then I'll meet up with my group. And Wednesday night we have dinner together. We all have a big group dinner the night before, and kind of a briefing and everything like that. And then we're off for 4 straight days of shooting and polluting.
There you go.
Chowing on some delicious Czech food. Man, the food in Prague is phenomenal. There's also some weird food I will not eat there. But the food's overall very good. Very excited about it. I got a great group of photographers going. I just haven't been anywhere, so I'm really excited. Very, very, very excited to go. And I'm planning another workshop for later in the year. I'm thinking late September, early October.
Ooh.
Can't tell you where. It's too secret. Ooh. It's too secret. All right. What else? We got the Photography Gear Conference coming up next month. I think it's on the 17th and 18th. Am I correct? Something like that. It's the middle of the month.
It is the 17th and 18th.
There we go. The 17th and 18th of Photography Gear Conference. What is this conference about? Is it to sell me gear? No, we figure you already have gear. What it's about is to teach you to get the most from the gear that you already have. We're going to be talking about camera bodies and lenses and accessories and tripods and just all of those things. We'll be talking about light and flash and everything. So that's what's coming up, and we're going to be taking it. Really, we have, when it comes down to it, so many people say, this is the exact sentence I hear. If I really knew my gear, right? If I knew my gear, and we thought, let's do a conference for people to really know their gear, to where they feel comfortable with their camera, comfortable with their lenses,
absolutely
comfortable with all of these things, so they can stop worrying about their gear. Because once you know
that's
gear,
what takes it to the next level, right?
You got to get past the I don't feel comfortable with my gear.
Right.
Like you got to feel comfortable with it. You got to know. And I think a lot of times, like people look at the menu of a camera, and there's so many things in there, and you think, I'm not getting good pictures because I don't know what all this stuff does. Part of this conference is to tell you what you don't need, things that you don't need to do, things that you can skip, features you don't need to use, and really get you down to these are the things you need to do to feel comfortable with your camera, comfortable with your gear, to use your tripod correctly, to use your lenses right, to choose the right lens at the right time, and all that kind of stuff.
And once you do that, Scott, like we know that once you do that, then that frees up everything. Because it just happened to me last night. Last night, I had 4 different people come up and ask 4 different independent gear setting, how to use my gear questions to me.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're like, one was like, I don't understand this Canon autofocus system. And I walked him through it really quick. And then he's like, oh, okay, I get it. And then another one was like, hey, how do I, do this with my, like an ND filter and all this stuff. And like, once you explain it to people and they see like, that's how to use it. Well, now you can go be creative. But I think it paralyzes a lot of people. They get like paralyzed where they're like, well, maybe I'm not using the right gear, or maybe I can't do this with the gear I've got. And it's not that way. I mean, we really, that's what I think is great about this conference is we can take and demystify a lot of those things for people.
Well, this is funny. Tim Oliver says, one more day closer to the Kelby One Gear Conference, rating my kids' college fund as we speak to prepare. so Tim, we're not trying to sell you anything.
No, not at all.
Like, it's not about, and I think we're of course we're concerned when you do a gear conference, people think, oh, it's a bunch of demos and they're going to try to sell. It's not that at all. It is what Eric is saying.
Yep.
We want to answer those questions that people come to us and go, I just need to learn how to do this, because if I knew this, if I knew how to work my whatever it is, fill in the blank, then I could focus on being creative.
Oh yeah, and it's
the stuff that really matters.
It's the number one question I know I get, and I know you get.
Yep.
It just happened with the Milky Way thing, where I was out shooting the Milky Way, somebody's asking me questions, and well, I can't do that because I have a crop sensor. Well, it's like, well, yes, you can, and I explain the whole thing, and then they're like, oh, my world opened up. I thought. Because I saw YouTube videos that said I couldn't do it without a full frame sensor. I couldn't do it, and these are the, I can't do it. It's like, and there's reasons why you maybe should have that, and we'll go over that in the conference, but it's not like you need to just run out and buy a bunch of gear. You probably have the gear. You just need to know how to use it in those different settings.
Exactly. Lewis says, and thank you very much for this, Lewis. Lewis says, all the Kelby conferences are awesome learning opportunities.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Lewis. We really put a lot into them to try to make them absolutely, what we really want people to do is get way more than their money's worth. They're inexpensive conferences to begin with. But we still want you to get triple the value. We want you to really get your money's worth. So anyway, come and check it out. Go to kelby1live.com. Sign up and you can join us next month. And if you don't, you're going to hear how great it was afterwards. You're going to go, I should have gone. And don't forget, we archive it for a year. So you have access to it for a year afterwards.
Yep.
So that's nice. All right. What else do we got? That's it. You ready to do some images?
Yeah, let's edit some images.
So I asked people to submit an unedited image in RAW or JPEG, doesn't matter. That did not stop people from sending fully edited images in. Yeah. They converted them to black and white. They sent duotones. They sent all kind of like unedited
Well, maybe
images.
they did it in camera. Maybe. Let's give them the benefit of that.
Sure they did. Anyway,
I doubt it. But
no, when you look at it, but you can know. And I open the image and I go, well, this is processed. You can tell. This is not. All right. This is a raw image straight out of the camera. And I like it. I think there's a lot of potential here. Because it starts with a good composition. Mm-hmm. I think the composition is pretty good, but what I don't think is pretty good is, and a lot of photographers try this, and very few succeed at it, which is the ugly branches in your picture somehow is going to frame the picture. I know we've all seen one of those pictures that worked somewhere in our life, but it is like the... It's
hard.
It's the like Loch Ness monster of pictures to try to find that, it's like Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's out there, but
sometimes it works, but very rarely.
So I'm going to start off with cropping this. The first thing, and I'm trying to figure out, well, all right, let's just ask ourselves the question before we start just cropping. What is the focus of this image? Well, I think it's the reflection in the water is a big feature of this, but it's the boat. But I also think it's the charming little boat house across the way and this little island over here. So I see like the subject here. I don't think the subject is these dead trees over here. So I would focus in first on recropping this to get something like maybe this. Oh, maybe a little tighter. I don't like this little rock hanging out here. Well, of course, I do have a program that will get
we
rid
could
of
fix
that.
that. We could fix that.
All right, let's go with something more like this. So that's just our basic starting place. All right, for my color profile, I'm almost always going to switch from Adobe Color to a landscape, especially with a landscape. And it's a subtle change, but watch. Here's the default, and then here's Adobe Landscape.
I see it. It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a nice color boost, and it does more than just that. The other thing I would do is let's just go ahead and hit auto. Now, for many years, I would never hit auto because it used to be the overexposure button.
Yeah.
But now it actually does a reasonable job as just to look at a starting place. Look, that's not bad. Let me just show you before and after. All right, that's not bad.
I mean, I'm telling you, I do that when I import. I just have it do auto settings.
It doesn't look bad at all. I will say this. I could probably use a little more contrast, which is pretty typical. And I'm just kind of watching back here that this doesn't get too dark again. This was pretty dark. Also, the boat is really dark, but I think that's going to be fixed with masking. So let's go to the masking button.
I wonder if select subject will work on that boat.
But I would have to, well, yeah, I guess I could try. Let's try it.
Try it. Yep.
No, Eric, it doesn't.
Boom.
It worked perfectly.
I'm telling you, it's magic.
Good call. So let's go and let's just open this up a little bit. Let's go to the shadows and open up the boat a little bit. I want to be careful because I don't want it to look so bright that, in fact, I'm going to pull off the exposure and let's just do the shadows and see if that looks a little better.
I liked a little bit of the exposure, but that was
let me just try a hair of it.
Yeah, like nothing.
A hair of the dog that bit you. All right. So that's, I still hate to say it. I'm going to hit create new mask and I'm going to go with the brush.
Yeah, you're going to brush that front of the.
Yeah, it's just, this over here just isn't
needs
coming
a little
out.
boost.
Yeah, there we go. It just
Need
needed that little
boost.
bit. Oops, I spilled over. Hold the option key if you make a mistake and erase your spillover. What did I do? It's a point, not even a half a stop, maybe a full. Let's go to a half stop. There we go, just to bring out a little detail in there. Outside of that, let me go back to the basics panel. The clarity slider is great for making water shiny, and it also enhances wood and stuff. So this one might look how it see the water gets shiny. Now you don't want to go too far. So what I generally do is I'll increase the texture to bring out detail, and then I'll do half as much clarity. So if I did 27, I might do 13 or 14, just to help with that a little bit. The other thing I'll probably do is one more mask, which is create new mask. Let's go to linear gradient and let's darken that sky up a little bit. And I don't want to make it cloudy. I want to pull back the highlights. I mean, I don't want to make it look like it's going to rain. And I might add a little extra color in here. I might add a little extra blue, or I can go a little extra yellow. It depends. So there's adding the yellow-white balance. Here's adding the blue-white balance. I kind of tend to like the yellowish.
Yeah, as long as you pull out some of that green it brought in.
Yeah, well, I can just go over here to the...
Boom.
There we go. All right. For the rest of this, I think we'd probably go over to... Let me just open this up. Let's go over to Photoshop. You've heard of that. Yeah. And let's just do a little cleanup here. So this stuff over here has got to go, like this kind of half a leaf sticking up in the water. I would definitely clean up all this little... Anything that doesn't make the photo look better has got to go. Even though that's a reflection of a cloud, you'd have to look and see that it's a reflection. Let's get rid of these extra ones over here, over here.
Simplifying the frame.
Yeah, just getting rid of all these distracting things that draw your eye away. And then this has all got to go.
Gotta go.
This whole nasty thing up here at the top is got to hit the way of the covered wagon. So let's go. There's a sentence you don't hear. It's gone the way of the covered wagon. Let's see how aggressive we can get with content-aware fill.
Oh, I didn't catch that bottom of that one.
Yeah, I did.
We'll do it.
Come on, this is going slow. Okay,
Boof.
That's kind of boof.
Boof.
All right,
that's
well,
rough.
here, we're going to do just a quick fix of it, though. And we'll get
if
in the ballpark.
if you did what Scott was doing first and took the time, I think it would have got it pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't make a great
It
selection.
just would have taken a lot more time.
All right. Well, that just gives you the idea of what it looks like without.
Imagine that being cleaned up clouds.
All right. Now, I'm also noticing like a glow around the boat from the things that we've done. So to get rid of glows, go to the clone stamp tool, switch your mode to darken. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go right next to the boat where the glow is, and you're going to paint the glow away. And it's not going to paint on the boat, because when you switch that mode to darken, what you're telling Photoshop is only affects pixels that are brighter than where I clicked. So if I click over here, watch, it's only going to affect brighter pixels. And so the boat does not get erased. What gets erased is the glow. And there was quite a little glow going on around this boat, including some chromatic aberration. I think that's enough glow repair. Maybe even this little bit over here. All right. So that gets rid of the glow. And then sharpen it to death to finish it off. Now, one more thing, though. Let me go ahead and sharpen it. We'll hit with AI Sharpen, Topaz AI Sharpen, which is about all I use anymore. Just let it open up, and it goes, oh, hang on, I'll fix that.
It's like
Done.
magic.
It's like magic. Wow, did a nice job. Give it a second to process. See, it says
used
soon.
to take it's just take so long to do that.
All right, now the only thing I would say is very often you're doing all these things and you're going, and then you go, you know, it's at the end it's a little too colorful. It is very common for me to go back at the end and look at it and ask myself that question: is it too colorful?
Yeah,
and
do I
if
need
it
to tone
is,
it down?
yeah, just go back to the camera raw filter, or in Lightroom, you would just do this in Lightroom. Go to the vibrance and just bring it down a little bit so it looks a little more realistic. So I dropped it by 21, so it's not so, you don't want it to look like, watch this last move. See, it was just a little too colorful. It's not terrible, but
yeah.
You know what it was? I like the yellows. I don't like the blues. So now,
yeah, if you want to do that, I mean, I guess you could target that with like the HSL.
now let me go reopen the original photo in Camera Raw, and let's set it back to its defaults. So there's where we started, and there's where we ended.
Oh yeah,
And it's a bit better.
that's a lot better.
So anyway,
I like it.
we got rid of getting rid of the branches was a big part of it, to be honest with you.
You know, so a couple things that make a photo like this great, right? Is we had great light, great clouds,
reflection,
a foreground element,
foreground element. It's got
You know,
depth. Yeah, they
yep.
did a lot of things right.
and then you were doing a lot of the simplification.
Yeah, just getting rid of stuff and
Yep.
doing that kind of stuff. All right. All right, we have to take a short break. We've got more images to look at here in just a minute. Let's see what else. We got some we have a short little trailer for you to play about the Gear Conference. So that's coming up here on the break. Give that a quick look, and then we'll see you right after. Don't go away.
Boris FX Optics is the definitive digital toolbox for image editing, visual effects, and optical filter simulation. Available as a plugin for Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom and as a standalone application. Created by Academy Award-winning effects artists, Optics brings Hollywood-quality visual effects to your images. It's easy to explore your creativity with 174 unique filters. Choose from the thousands of installed presets. And use the comprehensive layer and masking system to turn simple photos into cinematic masterpieces. Add light with lens flares, light leaks and gobos. Add style with film stocks and looks. And with Optics 2022, add realistic particle-based effects like smoke, fire, sci-fi and more. All fully customizable to create a unique image. With affordable licensing options and a free trial version, there's no reason not to see for yourself why professional photographers, artists and designers love working with Boris FX Optics. Download it now.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we're back. Scott and Eric are here, and so I hope you'll join us next month for the Gear Photography Conference. All right. Let's take a look the next image here. Just send in. You want to give some shout outs while I'm
Yeah, we got let's see who we got joining us. We got Joseph saying hello from Canada, James Gordon Patterson saying
salutes.
And then Anders saying hey to everybody, Ramona from Newfoundland, Canada saying hey, Perry from Germany saying hello, Linda from Whitefish saying hello. Claire Jones, greetings.
Claire Jones.
Yep, from Cambridge in the UK. And then Elizabeth Miller saying hi from Florida's Panhandle. There you go. And then Rick Greenlee saying hello from Columbus, Ohio. Dwight in Tennessee saying hello from Tennessee. And then Antonio saying hello from Spain.
My homeland.
And then George saying hello from West Texas. Video TT saying hey from Sweden. John Austin from the UK, Jeff S. from North Carolina. We got people all over Faith joining from Washington, D.C., Hal from Santa Fe, and we have all these people in the chat, but we didn't talk about the prizes.
Oh, we got prizes.
Because, if you're in the chat, you can win a prize today watching the grid. We are giving away a bunch of prizes. So first we have the Platypod disc.
Underrated.
So there you go, the Platypod disc right here.
Hey, by the way, you'll get another one. I need to take this with me to Prague. So I'm going to put this in my pocket right now. We have others. Don't worry.
Yes, don't worry. We do.
I want to take that with me.
And then we're going to give away the Lightroom Classic book.
Yes. I'm not taking that to Prague.
And then, speaking of travel photography.
Hey, by the way, is that the #1 bestseller? What? Come on.
We're giving away the travel photography book there, too. So, talk about travel. There you go. Pick up the travel photography book. And then Boris FX Optics. We're giving away that 2022 version that just came out. And then another cool plugin, On One Effects 2022. We're giving that one away.
Hey, by the way, can I tell you, I just recorded a full-length class on One Effects 2022. Because I know a lot of you already have it, and I know a lot of people bought it during Cyber, and I know a ton of you have it. I did a whole class from beginning to end on how to get up to speed fast, and there's so much more to it than meets the eye.
Yeah.
And I learned it all, and I'm teaching it to you.
There you go. Cool. And so if you want to enter to win any of those prizes, you just go into the chat and then tell us in the chat what you'd like to win. And then we'll pick a winner at the end of the show for all those prizes.
All right, let's look at another image here. A good image, too. Another good composition, good photographer. They know their
lighting,
stuff.
Good time lighting. Of day.
Good God, let's eat. Yeah, no, it's all good. I'm going to start off by real quick. I'm going to go to the optics and turn on the profile correction. And just to get rid of that. And then let's go to geometry and hit the auto button, and neither one of those did tremendously big things, but that's something I do to almost every image, is to make sure that there aren't lens issues involved. All right, let's go ahead and start with Adobe Landscape. Ooh, look at that.
Yep.
All right, now let's hit auto, see what it does. Not much, but that's okay. Let's go ahead. I think I want to increase the exposure a little bit, and I'm gonna try dehaze a little bit. Yeah. So one of the things that dehaze does, of course, is it cuts any atmospheric haze. But another thing it does, and it's a side effect that's either good or bad, is it adds blue into the photo. So it definitely, especially around the edges and stuff, if you have any vignetting, it enhances that vignetting in blue. But in the right, like blue is kind of an inherent color in this photo. I think I saw that and I was like, ooh, I'm going to bring that out. I'm also going to go to the whites, see if I could bring those, like the pink highlights out. This is a really pretty picture. Let's do a little texture just to bring out enhance the texture in the snow. And a little bit of clarity. It's funny, I used to crank the clarity. Now I go a little bit of clarity, and
now that we have texture,
texture's so good.
Yeah, so I'm with you. It's like crank texture, a little bit of clarity.
Just to let you know, what's the difference between texture and clarity? Texture brings out detail without messing with the tone of the photo. Clarity actually also brings out detail, but it changes the tone. It makes your photo more gritty, more punchy. It's a different look. It's a different type of bringing out detail.
But it has worse side effects than texture.
Yeah, if you put too much on it, it looks like an HDR photo.
That's also where you start seeing those glows that you were talking about.
Yep. A lot of if you add too much texture, you'll start to see the white glows appear around stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, too much clarity.
Yes.
All right, our color temperature is actually pretty good. Actually, there's not much to do to this photo. It's really good. Let's just look at a before and after. So what did we do here really is we went to Adobe Landscape. We hit auto, and that didn't do much. What we did do is we increased the exposure quite a bit, and by moving up, moving the whites really made a big difference in this. So I'm going to take it down, and you can see it kind of lifted away, and the dehaze did quite a bit here.
Yeah,
because if you look at it has kind of an overall hazy look to it. Now, you could also say, well, that's a little too colorful for my taste. There's a couple things that you could do. One of them is to just lower the overall vibrance until it looks a little better, but I actually like it more vibrant. But what you might do is this. Consider this. What if we went to the masking tool and we went select sky, and then we hit inverse. So now the sky is untouched and we're just doing the foreground. Then you might go and lower the saturation of the color a little bit just in the snowy areas. So the sky, because the sky looks beautiful.
Yeah, so you keep the punch of the sky.
So you keep the punch of the sky without the ground looking overly too much. So that might be a last little minute tweak.
I like that.
And I
that
think
tones down that magenta purple down to like manageable.
The last thing that I would mention that you might want to do with this one is it depends on how much you care about this middle ground image here. Like all this stuff, it's a city or a town or something down there. How much do you care about showing that? Because you could go through there and paint that with a brush. So it's up to you. I don't know how much you really want to mess. But anyway, I'm pretty cool with that one. I like that, and it was an easy retouch. And congratulations to the photographer who did a very nice job with it. I like the composition. It's just something different, and seeing something different. But it does. I think it looks nice and colorful and punchy, and people like stuff that's colorful.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, let me go grab another one here real quick. Let's see what else we got. This one. Now we got some really challenging ones, I'm afraid, coming up. This one's kind of challenging in that they didn't quite have the length of photo that they needed. So they were shooting with a 100 to 400, and they shot it at 320. Tip: go to 400.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you really needed a 600, right? Because you don't. This is about the surfer.
Or
it's not about this wave over here. It's not about this part of the wave. I'd like to see that surfer over a little further here, but we got to get in on the surfer. That's step one.
So the other thing, and we're talking about gear here, you're saying getting in closer. The one thing they might not need a 600 lens. You know what they might need?
A 1.4 teleconverter, because that happens to work with the 100 to 400. You can put a 1.4 on there, and then it's 580.
And you got to think, you're going to lose one stop of light, but you're shooting at f14. You're never going to have to worry about it.
Never going to have to worry about it.
That's just a great way. And these are the stuff we talk about with gear. Like, people don't know that stuff. Like, and it frustrates them.
Oh, yeah. I'm also going to tell you one other thing you can do. You need to get your shutter speed up.
Yeah.
Your shutter speed is 1/640th of a second. Really, you need to be at 1/1000th of a second to stop moving action. He's moving. It's not blurry. It's okay.
Well, the only you would do that is go into F11. I bet you go to F11.
And F11 is where you want to be anyway. F14 is
it's the no man's land.
Why do we like F11 so much? You're getting a preview of the gear conference. The reason we like F11 so much is because on most lenses, it's still a very sharp f-stop. Because I don't know if you know this, but lenses have f-stops that are particularly more sharper than the other ones, right? Often it's f8. Often f8 is the sharpest, but it just depends on the lens. And I have a method that you can test your lens to find out exactly which f-stop is on your particular. So instead of just saying it's f8, but what if it's not? What if it's f9? Because there's lenses that go to f9. There's ones that go to f10 and f11. It just depends on your lens. But anyway, I got a test for you. I'm going to talk about on exactly how to do this during the conference. But anyway, long story short, that f11 is it makes everything in focus for a long distance, and it's a very, very sharp f-stop on most lenses, where f14 is not nearly as sharp. F14,
as you start going up, that's why you don't want to be at F22. F22 is you're going to lose sharpness when you go that way.
At 22, you're going to lose sharpness at 32, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, and I got a whole thing about that too, because I got some interesting research on lenses that is going to be really helpful. But anyway, let's get onto the shot.
Yeah.
But F11 would have sped your shutter speed up. It probably would have been 1,000. It fixed all kinds of stuff, but you still should have been at 600 millimeter. All right, let's start with cropping. Let's at least get in with that. I'm thinking.
Let's get to 600 millimeters and more.
You still want to see the water in the wave. It's a more interesting wave on this. I think seeing it's going up here is more interesting than just foam, because this part of the wave has already crashed. So let's go over here. Let's put him in a lower third there kind of spot. All right. The other thing is let's go to Adobe Landscape. Duh. Let's hit auto. Auto's not bad, but I really want to open up I want to see him.
I bet select subject might work on this one too.
All right. Yeah, it probably could. And
I'm telling you, it's my new favorite thing.
All right. But I'm okay with just opening up the shadows at this point. And then, I might have to do it again because when I increase the contrast. Now, texture is going to bring out detail, which you can see it. Woo!
Oh, yeah. Boom.
Now, I put a lot of texture, 45, but this is the kind of thing you can do it with.
You can push it to 45, no problem.
And then clarity to make the water a little shiny.
Don't go to 45 on that.
No. We're going down to 20-something. Yeah. All right.
So that's okay. I like the the best tip there. Make sure your clarity is at least half of what you did for texture. Yeah, you don't want to get that out of balance, or you're going to see it start to look HDR-ish. Otherwise, this looks pretty good where we're at. Let's go ahead and click open so we can. No. I'm sorry. Go to the masking. Go to select subject. Boom. Got him. Then good.
By the way, when you choose select subject, it turns him red. That's a tint overlay to let you know this is what I selected. As soon as you touch one of the sliders, the red tint goes away. But it's important for that red tint to show up and go, hey, this is what I got.
Because sometimes it just fails, and you go, oh, no, I don't want that, and you cancel out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would say it's probably 90% on it or more.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like, select subject's going to pick that up.
All right, so let's just open up the shadows on him a little bit, and it doesn't make everything else too bright or too open. All right? So really, right there, I think is pretty good. But you can see the shot's not tack sharp. It's like...
But, I mean, right now, if you just did a backslash before after, I mean, where are you at?
Oh, yeah, let's look for the...
I mean, come on.
So you're bringing out lots of detail and dimension and stuff, but I would go one more step, and the last finishing touch would be go throw sharpen on it. Yep. And again, we're using Topaz AI Sharpen. And it does an amazing job.
The other thing that
Give it a
AI
second, it's
Sharpen
still going.
does
It's not
well
done.
is there was a
Wait.
noise pattern in that image. It's going to take and take that off.
It's still thinking. It's thinking and hoping and wishing and something. Well, this is the longest I remember it taking on something. Now, it may be, sometimes it needs to pull down from the internet. There we go. It's updating.
profile.
It pulls down a particular profile. But look at the sharpness difference. And the noise is gone.
Yeah.
The sharpness is, look, it's way sharper, but the noise in his face is gone. Come on. Freaking AI. Give it a second to process it. I like the way it says soon.
And if you like the way you sharpen, just do that. But just sharpen.
All right. And so there's where we're at. We'll go open up the original. Is this it? And let's go to the, no, I'm sorry, wrong one. Default. Here we go. So there's the original image, and there's the, I think, much more dynamic. You can actually see him. But can I tell you something when it comes to this stuff? Is having a long lens or like you said, a 1.4 tele extender makes all the difference in the world. I've never heard someone come back from Safari and go, I wish I'd taken a shorter lens.
Yeah.
I've never heard someone who's shooting surf go, you know, if I had just had a 200 instead of a 400, it's always the longer lens. And if you were going to tell me I'm going to be a surf photographer, I'm like, go get the Sigma 60 to 600 or the Tamron 150 to 600.
Yep.
Or if you already have it 100 to 400, get that one. You're going to be shooting in the day.
Yeah.
Get that 1.4 tele, shoot at f11, and you're good to go. So it's everybody comes back from Safari or comes back from a sporting event, and they all say the same thing. Man, if I just had a longer
Just
lens.
a little bit longer.
It's like when people
and
say
cropping does not do the same. I mean, it's
no,
a
you
good
lose
way.
quality. You lose quality when you
but,
crop.
But
in
it's
time
not the
like that.
same.
No, you do. You lose. Yeah, it's not the same. All right, let me see what else we got here. How about? All right, I'm going to go to what may be the worst case scenario of anything I've done in these how would I edit your photos, because this is not a this is a damaged image. This is a restoration project. So this is not how would I edit. This is I accidentally blew this out.
Yeah, I
at
accidentally
2500
took my
ISO
during the day to
in
2500
the daytime. And I should have been at 100, and I accidentally shot it at 2500, and so I'm at a kind of a mess. So step one, let's crop it in a little bit to get rid of the junk up in the corner. That's step one, and it just happened to put them in the rule of thirds. I don't know. We can hit auto and let's just see what it does. Nothing good. So I think what you're gonna have to do is let's just drop the exposure and the highlights.
Yeah, see what we can recover.
Here's what I'm worried about, Eric. Sometimes when you drop the highlights, it doesn't bring back color and stuff.
Yep.
It turns gray.
Yep. I unfortunately think that's what's going to happen too.
Well, let's try the exposure first.
Oh, it's a little bit. Yeah.
Well, that's something.
Yeah. We can work with that.
We can work with this.
Environmental.
Let's try highlights. Here we go. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
All right. Let's try. I'm just going to try dropping the contrast or increasing it. I think increasing works better, except for maybe on the horse. All right. Let's hold the shift key and click on the word auto whites and auto blacks. If you're in Lightroom, that they don't show up, you have to double click just on the word whites and black. It doesn't say auto. I mean, that's better. I'm not sure I want to add any texture or clarity. I'm worried about that. I think I would go and take the masking tool, go to the brush, increase the exposure a little bit, and get the other side of the horse. Now, you could do a sky replacement It could look really funky. Let's just try it because we got enough of the photo back to where there's something there now. There's nothing really. This is so blown out here that I'm not sure what we can do with that. We've lost detail in these areas, which is why we always hear Eric and I harping about, not blowing out your highlights. And
right.
So let me just try.
I was surprised you were able to recover that much, though. I really was.
Yeah, because you never know how it's going to go. Let's go.
But
to
I think
sky
part of that is
replacement.
it was snow. I think it was snow too.
It was Jon Snow. It was Jon Snow.
It's gonna be a hard one.
Yeah, this is going to be a really, especially when you throw a blue background. Hey,
Yeah,
no,
it's gonna have to be like more like an overcast. Like,
yeah, you need kind of an overcasty. Not that.
I don't even know if it's gonna be able to.
And you got to mask out this because it's kind of picking up right on the horse and the rider.
See, there might be another way to take the photo, and that is just focus on the horse and the rider, and creating more of a kind of a textured look to it.
Well, wait a minute. This isn't terrible.
I mean, it's going to have to be overcast, definitely.
Yeah, you're going to have to find a better sky than I've got. These are the default Adobe skies that are in here, and they're not. Okay, that's an inappropriate sky. That's
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go back to the closest one that I've seen, which is this one.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you got to find an overcast sky, and you might be able to just go to the sky replacement group and lower the opacity a little bit. Okay, a little bit. What the heck?
Yeah, it didn't step there.
How about like something like that?
Something like that. That works.
Something like that?
Yeah. It gives some texture to the sky. It looks way better.
All right, and then we'll flatten the image. And let's just try this next step. I don't know if this is going to work. Go to Filter and go to Camera Raw. Go to this little four browse profiles here. And the same thing if you're doing this in Lightroom. It's the same thing. Go to Artistic and see if you can find one of these profiles because it'll help pull the sky in with the rest of the photo. Okay, not Artistic. Let's go try Modern. You know what? You might try Vintage. You might find something in here.
Yeah, I like some of those.
Like that one.
I like that one.
Yeah, Vintage 02. Looks pretty good. Oh, what was down here?
I like that too.
Yeah, that's Vintage 08. Let's go with Vintage 02. And you have an amount slider if you want more vintage, less vintage, or something in there is fine. And then, sharpen it. And I think it's as good as we're going to get it without putting a lot of time into it. Give it a second. It's updating, loading, updating, updated.
But, I mean, look at the difference between the boots. Look at the boots, the edge of the boots.
Oh, my gosh. It's night and day.
You can actually see the stitching on the tack, where you couldn't see that before.
Now, that's using the standard. You can go and say, I need it. It's too soft.
Well, you can actually hit this little thing up here, and that's where the AI will say, oh, I'll find it. It went. Now it went. I think it was that.
Yeah, I usually leave that on, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, that is incredible.
Come on.
Wow. That's cheating.
That's cheating.
But hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, give it a second. It says soon. Man, did that fix the sharpness of the photo. Holy cow. And there you go. It's a photo.
Yeah. I mean, that's a before and after.
Let's open the original, and that was from the DNG. And let's go to the default. So this is what it originally looked like. I think we did okay. I was kind of worried.
I was worried too, but that's pretty good.
But that's a photo restoration. That's not really an edit. That's like we got a damaged photo.
And that's where if you're shooting, you gotta watch that during the daytime, not boosting your ISO that much.
Yeah, and I've done that same thing.
Yeah, everybody's done it.
Don't
We've
feel
all
bad.
done it.
It's not anything like that.
Yeah.
I remember one night I went to a country bar. Snow, it was a steak restaurant that had a bar, and I'm shooting 1600 ISO. And I get up in the morning. I'm at my first time ever at Monument Valley.
Yeah.
I have we hired a local guide because you're on a reservation, and you hired a great guide that was recommended to me by name, and he met us and took us out, and I shot the whole day at 1600 ISO. Now, I shot today, shooting at 1600 ISO with today's mirrorless cameras.
Not be able to handle it.
That was with a 5D Mark II.
Oof. That's rough.
Oof.
That's rough.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a throwaway day.
Oof. All right. Stick around. We're going to take a short one. When we come back, we're going to look at some more images and see what we got. Oof.
Hey everyone, I'm professional landscape photographer Ian Plant, and right now I am in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan along the scenic south shore of Lake Superior to do some winter landscape photography. And what brought me here is the amazing ice formations that you can find along the sandstone cliffs and caves of this region. And while I'm here, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tips and techniques for taking amazing winter landscape photos. I'm going to talk about finding the best winter landscape subjects and creating dynamic compositions and visual designs that will draw the viewer deeper into your photograph. I'm also going to talk about the best light, color, and weather for winter landscape photos. And I'm going to discuss the practical aspects of successful winter landscape photography, making sure that you've got the right clothing to keep you warm and making sure that you can keep your gear safe from the cold weather. And we're going to take this from abstract theory to practical application. I'm going to take you with me along on a few photo shoots inside some of the ice caves up here. So join me for my latest class over at kelby1.com.
Guys, Peter Hurley here, and I'm psyched. You know why? I am doing my signature lighting in a class here at Kelby One. Do you want to miss it? You don't want to miss it. Why would you want to miss that? I've made a ton of money in my career using this exact setup, and I'm going to give it to you. So I want you to copy it. I want you to do it. I want you to get this beautiful light for yourself so that human beings can get in front of your camera and look really good. And I'm here to coach you. So let's do this. We're going to do men's lighting. We're going to go my signature triangle setup, beauty lighting for women as well. And this setup is what I've made my living around in my entire career. It's made me uber successful. It can help you. It can help you make better pictures of human beings that are fortunate enough to step in foot in front of your lens. And I'm psyched to see it. So let's go. You ready? Come watch my latest class at kelby1.com. 3, 2, 1. Shabam.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back. I'm here. Eric's here. John Duke says, that isn't Eric. Eric only wears Tommy Bahama shirts. You can't fool me. It's true.
I know.
That's him. All right. John also said, the conferences are wonderful. They are for all experience levels. You'll learn a lot and probably make some new friends in the community that can help you get more experience. You should join. Thank you, John.
Yeah,
thanks very
John.
much. Thank you for the comments. Really do appreciate it. I mean, it's one thing for Eric and I say, oh, it's going to be great. You should come. But hearing from people that have actually been there, I think that really means more. So thank you for those of you who have said things like that. Let's go take a look this image here. We've got good photographers today.
Good image.
Really good all the way around. Where are you guys for when I do the blind critiques?
Yeah, I love the reflection.
Oh, they've got a nice picture here.
Maybe.
There we go. Nice picture. The only thing that I would say compositionally is, so you do have some foreground here, right? Because of you can see through the water. That's good. This area over here is kind of meh. So I think it would be stronger if you just took it in a little bit on this side, right? Just kind of like that right there.
It would be really cool in those photos if those other trees were on the other side.
Well, you can you want those trees over the other side, Eric? I got a program that'll do it. Oh, now that would be some nice framing, wouldn't it? You could take those. I could take that.
Yeah.
We'll do it at the end. We'll do it at the end just for fun. But anyway, this is a very easy fix because this is a straight ahead. You got good exposure. It's sharp. It's everything. So you start off with, what are we changing? Oh, we can't. It's a JPEG. We can't change it to Adobe Landscape because those profiles are raw profiles. So that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's hit auto. Didn't do a whole lot. You know what's going to work here? It's got a lot of blue in it. I'm coming in. And look, it's a little hazy. Now, part of it is there's some light clouds in front of there. But let's hit the dehaze. Come on, look at that. And it's got a nice glow around the mountains. That dehaze rocked it there.
Yeah, it did.
Now I'm going to go right to texture and clarity because I just want to see it on those mountains. And then pull back the highlights a little more, increase the contrast a little bit. Looking good. Now, I probably do want to maybe take a brush and go right in on the tree line. And just bring the detail in the trees out a little bit. Right there. And you would have to get a smaller brush and be a little more careful than I'm going to be to just kind of trace each tree. You're not going to get all the way out to the branches and all of that, but
Popping a little light in there.
just popping a little light in there. Popping a
A
little
little pepper.
little bingo, a little pepper. Now, there is a spot in the. Do you see that spot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me zoom in for those of you who are watching on a phone or an iPad or something.
Sensor dust.
Sensor dust, couple of them.
Yeah.
For sensor dust, there is a tool right here. No, that's not. Is that the red eye tool? Yeah,
Yes.
that's the red eye. Where is the?
It's right above it.
There it is. Right here.
No.
Yeah. No, that's
No, right above where the red, two above the red eye tool.
There it is. I'm sorry,
Yep.
the healing brush. I'm sorry, I'm a Lightroom user.
Yep.
All right. Let's go in here and get rid of this. Just click it once. It chooses a better spot, hopefully, to, there we go. Boy, it's moving slow today. And it picks a better spot. Give it a second. And
There's one right next to it, too, over to the left.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah.
Now, if you're not sure where these are, you can do this thing called visualize spots, and it will help you make spots stand out. So
Yeah, I wonder if you
can see.
Scroll over to the other corner and see if there's any in the other corner. Nope.
No,
Just
but
in
I
that
would
one
probably
area.
get rid of those little smudges of whatever they are.
I think those might have been the clouds.
Well, they're not anymore. All right, let's get rid of the visualized spots. But if it were me, and it is in this case, here's what I would probably do as a finishing move. I'd probably replace that sky. Go to sky replacement. No, don't put the bad sky from before
we don't
in
want
there.
overcast now.
Nope.
We want a blue sky.
We want to. Let me. What's gonna look good here? That's not bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be like
That looks legit.
You want a similar sky.
I
to
always
what
want
was
this
there.
one. I always like this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want kind of, something legit that looks like it was really there. Let me scroll down a little further and see spectacular. Just means sunset, apparently.
I do like that one that you have.
Yeah, let's go with that one. That was it this one? Yeah. All right, so there's our sky replacement. Now, you got to get that sky into this water. Also, I think the sky needs to be brighter. That, not overall brightness, like exposure, like the whites need to be brighter. Let's go to the camera raw filter and just bring up the white so the clouds look, you know what I mean? Like that.
A little punchier.
Yeah. Right? So let me just show you before and after here. See what I mean? It needed that to match the surroundings.
Definitely.
Yeah, all right.
Blends it better.
So now I'm going to take the sky replacement group and I'm going to duplicate it, dragging it down to the new layer icon down here, little square. Let's go to free transform and I'm going to hit Control and bring up this pop-up menu. We're going to flip vertical because we got to get a reflection of those clouds down here somehow. That did not work at all. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to create a flattened layer on top. All right, so it is a layer on top that looks like I flattened the image. You press Shift, Option, Command, E on a Mac, Shift, Alt, Control, E on Windows, and you wind up with an exact duplicate of your image. on one layer. So now we'll go to flip vertical. I got to get those. I'm also going to lower the opacity so I can see what the heck's going on behind. And let's kind of line up I'm lining up the bottom of this thing so it's pretty close, right? And then I'm going to erase all of that. I don't need to see any of that. Let's add a layer mask and get rid of all of. I don't need a reflection of the mountain. It's already there, right? So we don't want a jaggy reflection. Oh, that's really a crud job, but there, I'll fix it. Yeah, that's pretty harsh.
Yeah.
Pretty harsh. But then you got the reflection, at least, of the sky in there. Now I'll go back. I'm going to make black my foreground color and fix my mistakes there along the edge. That was pretty sloppy.
You're also going to have to fix those trees on the left.
Oh, yeah, I cut them away, didn't I?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's an issue. Yeah, it's going to take me a minute. I'm not going to put you through that, but you're going to have to fix those trees a little bit. Speaking of those trees, Eric, now that we're at the end, what if, just for fun,
What if?
we made a copy of that and flipped it to the other side?
Yeah, that would have been
And then
Mother Nature's gift.
Then you got to blend it. Mother Nature's gift. I need to use a soft brush will help. I had a hard brush, and that's why you see that over there. It looks bad. I didn't have my soft brush selected. Mother Nature's gift.
Yes. Sometimes that happens, you know?
That's pretty crappy there, but you get the idea of what you'll have to do.
Yeah, that's down and dirty, but
but you get
the point.
You get the point. But anyway, but a nice shot, an easy retouch or easy edit there. Do we have break time or something? Oh, are we out of time?
Yeah, we are out of time.
All right,
already.
well, let's do one more.
Yeah.
We'll do one more. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we have prizes to give away.
Yep.
We got prizes. So stick around for those because everybody likes prizes. And I'll pull up another image and we'll hit that when we get back. What do we have?
Hello, my name is Dave DeBearmaker and I'm a toy photographer from North Carolina, and I'm excited to share with you my new class on exercising creativity. Creativity is a flow that leads us from the initial idea all the way to the final image. So we're going to cover exercises on how to be more proficient at how to use your camera, and how to get those ideas anyways, as well as narrowing those ideas down and focusing them to get the best shots that you possibly can. When you finish this course, you'll be armed with techniques to flex your own creativity and make the most out of your own creative efforts. So please check out my class, only here on Kelby One.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Well, we're back. So we're going to do a lightning round for some of these last ones, which is what Mr. Kuna just recommended, and I wholeheartedly agree. So we're just going to spend like 60 seconds on each one, but we're going to whip through.
So you're just going to whip through what you would do.
Here we go. Let's take a look at the one on screen. I like this photo. Very cute little girl and a nice photo. The first thing that I notice is white balance. She looks kind of bluish. So I would go to the temperature. It's not a raw photo, so I can't apply. Go to the temperature and go towards yellow. I think that helps a lot. Increase the exposure a little bit. Contrast is okay. How about this? Let's go to masking. Let's select subject.
Boom.
And then let's invert. So now we have the background, because the background's very bright. So let's take the background down some. But I don't want to make it more contrasty, so I'm going to lower the contrast and darken it at the same time, because I don't want the background to look really contrast. So I'm going to lower the contrast a lot, and I'm going to lower the highlights back there, just so you're focused on her. You're not so much focused on the background. In fact, I would probably once we're done with that, let's go to the effects and add a little bit of darkening around the edges, so you're really focused on her. And really, that's it. You could go to the masking thing. Let's add a new mask and paint just over her face. Maybe a third of a stop, so 0.3 or 3.5. Oh, come on, get a bigger brush than that. And just paint over her face just a little bit. That might be a tad too much. But anyway, I meant to hit the... See how blue she was?
Yeah.
You don't really notice it until you take it away, and then you're like, yeah, the color was off. And I could do a little more, but for 60 seconds, that's not awful. Yep. All right, so that's one. This is a really nice shot. I think this is
like that.
Really well done. It's like a stock photo. So I like it.
It could definitely be a stock photo.
Yeah, it could totally be a stock photo. The thing that kind of is bugging me is the bust looks crooked. And you can't tell if she's crooked, but the bust looks crooked. You got to fix the bust. I'll just go to geometry, go to rotate. Just rotate the bust to where it's kind of straight. Hit constrain crop so it doesn't, have gaps. And that takes care of the most obvious problem. The other one is her dress is too white. Right? It's like blown out. In fact, let's click the clipping. Oh, it's mostly on the bust over here. But I would bring the highlights back to bring detail back in her dress. Look at that. I like the flat look. In fact, I might go a little more with the flatness. Let's shift-click the auto whites and auto blacks. That looks all good. It's all pretty good. The only thing I would do nope, it's not. Let's go to the color profiles. Let's go to modern, and let's find a nice color profile to unify the whole thing. And maybe one that looks kind of flat would be, that kind of looks nice. Modern 08. Oh, but that looks
cool.
Good too.
I
Modern
like that.
10, there we go. I mean, we didn't do a lot to this photo. It was a really good photo to begin with. So,
yeah.
But what I would point out to you is the detail in her dress. We brought back the detail. We straightened the bust. The rest, it's just a really good picture. And I like the bright, the aesthetic of it. And, and we might be able to even go to find a different color look that might.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you have a great photo to begin with, all you're doing is those finishing moves.
Yeah, a little finishing touches there. Ooh, that kind of looks nice. With the warmer vintage 10, looks nice too. Anyway, there's a couple that are good. Let's go with lightning round time. This looks like it's in Greece, obviously. Maybe Crete. It's not Corfu. I think it's Crete. Let's go to landscape. Let's hit auto. I think that one thing that you would want to see is the inside of this little church. I think that you would want to go to the masking, go to brush, bring it up a bit, and I think you would want to see that in there. Now, you don't want to see it quite that bright, but I think you got to bring out some detail there. The image looks crooked, as Mr. Kuna has probably already noticed.
Yeah.
So let's go to optics and turn on the profile correction. And it looks like they used a Tamron 70 to 180. And then let's go to geometry and hit auto. Didn't do much. I don't think, I think it's still crooked. What do you think? That looking straighter?
That's good.
Ish. I mean, you can get it really right straight if you want to use the crop tool and the straighten tool. You might go up to the masking one more time, create a new mask, and make it a linear gradient. And let's drop that in the sky, and then darken the sky up a little bit. Because you know what's not jumping out at you is the house.
Yeah.
I mean, not the house, the church.
It needs
so,
like a focus.
Do you think it will select subject if I hit create mask?
It might.
Let's go see.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
It even
got
the flag.
Yay.
Yep.
Select subject for the win.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and I don't want to make it real bright and stupid, but just a little brighter.
Just pop in a little bit.
Just a little bit so your eyes drawn to it. And then the other thing is, what do we think about the white balance? Could we go bluer with it? Could we go yellower with it? I think I like the bluer.
Yeah.
And let's pull back the highlights a little more. Some texture and clarity to get the waves looking good. We didn't do a whole lot. It's not like tremendously different.
Yeah.
It's not tremendous. You can see inside the church. The church is a little brighter and stuff like that. It's not a night and day transformation, but it's all right. It's a 60 seconder. What do we have here? Well, let's go all the way back to there we go. That's not the original. Let's reset it to the defaults. All right, that's the default. Wait a minute. If it's the default, why is all this stuff moved?
Yeah, that's weird. Well, you see, it's coming from an iPhone. Is there like something embedded in it?
There's something embedded in it because I'm going to put it on. Yeah, some of this stuff is like the clarity is already set.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. It's set at +6.
That's why I'm wondering if there's something
Some
they
kind
use.
of a profile or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to get it back to 0. But what I would probably do is, let's hit auto. That's not bad. I would increase the contrast. All right, let's think about the color. You got the sun beaming through there. I think you're going to want to go very yellow. Right?
Yep. Make that
maybe a little pink so it doesn't look green. See, this looks edited. There's a glow around here, and there's a glow. This glow was there from the start. There's like a glow around this person.
I think that this is the process. This is like either process or like a stacked image. Oh, in fact, here you go, right here. Look at the end of the name.
It's HDR. So it could have been done in camera.
Yeah, it's like there's something going on with it.
Let's bring up the whites a little. And you'd have to go prepare those glows. I would definitely do that. Maybe open up these rocks in the foreground a little bit. Let's go to the brush tool. And we're only going to spend 1 minute on it, so I don't have all day. But these rocks look a little too dark. And so does the rock in the foreground. But that looks like butt.
Yeah.
Undo that last thing. It's going to stay dark. This front part needs some detail, though. And then maybe just one more mask and darken the sky with a linear gradient. And just drag it up there. Maybe not that dramatic. And I'll also kick it maybe a little more towards yellow. Because I don't want it to look like, it's a cool shot.
Yeah, this is cool.
All right, next one. I think it's upside down. That looks better.
It's definitely upside down.
All right.
Now, you might have been going for that.
Okay, now, once you see stars in the sky, I take my hands off the keyboard and go, Mr. Kuna, you drive.
You're going to do the same thing.
Let's hit auto.
Do the same things you were doing. I mean,
contrast.
Yeah.
Now, would you darken the blacks?
Yeah, I mean, it's
really black, and then bring up the
night image, so you want to create more contrast. It's also what'll pull out the stars. The other thing that's going to pull out stars is that texture.
Oh, texture
slider. I bet you start dragging. See how the stars start jumping out? Like now, if it was the Milky Way, I would tell you not to touch the texture because it will actually lessen the Milky Way effect. But with star fields like that, texture works really good. And then clarity works really good too.
I added a little bit of clarity,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
a lot more
But it's
texture.
almost the same thing you're doing. Yeah. I mean, it's
And we'll look at a side by side here. Hang on.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't do that much really.
But you see how much that brought out the star field.
Yeah.
That really made the image jump.
Oh yeah, it's jumpy. All right, next we got a nice bird shot. What is that? A cardinal? No, I don't know what that is. It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's a bird.
All right. Do we really need?
I almost think you got to try to just get the bird.
I don't think you can get the
I
bird
don't
without
think you could, yeah, something. Get as much as that other stuff out of it.
Now, I think you got to rotate this because it looks weird to see the feeder. And don't cut off the feeder. There we go. Then let's hit the auto. Now, what do we got here? Adobe Landscape. Well, that made a nice difference. A lot of noise in this one. We got stuff that'll take that out. That's not bad. A little texture, a little clarity. Those will both make the noise. Do you see the noise? There's a lot of noise.
Yeah. Well, plus you're seeing that effect too with the noise. There's like a pattern noise, but that's where on one no noise. I bet if you launched it in there,
Yeah.
it'd clean it right up.
Yep. All right. And agreed. Maybe just take a tiny bit of vignetting on the edges so the attention goes to the bird. If we go to masking and hit select subject, got the feeder too, which is not the worst.
Well, I mean,
Well, here's what you can
it
do.
is the subject that is. I mean, if you look at it,
Right.
it is the subject. Yeah.
But I don't really want to make the feeder brighter.
No.
So what you can do is go to subtract and you can hit brush, or you could have hit gradient and just say don't include the
Yep.
feeder, and you just paint over it. So that way it leaves the bird. So we chose to subtract the brush. What I'm painting with the brush gets subtracted from the mask. So that way when I make an adjustment, it only affects what's in red, which is the bird.
Can you launch just that image, or you can't because you have a sequence image? Huh?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I was gonna say at the end you should launch it. If you take that into no noise, I bet you it'll wipe that completely out.
There we go. We're just working on the bird. Bird's the word. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I like it.
bird it up. All right. Almost done here, folks. Hang on. Well, this looks interesting. I think I might crop it just a... It feels like it needs like just that. Man, is it hazy.
Yeah.
It's a hazy shade of winter. Hitting auto like does nothing. It's just, it's so hazy. So it's dehaze time.
That did some.
That did something. A little bit of texture, a little clarity, a little pop, a little bingo, maybe some more contrast in general. And then you got some junk in the sky and some noise to deal with. So that's not bad. I mean, that's a 15-second version,
Yep.
but that'll get you going. And oh, we're 20 minutes over. I'm sorry, folks. Let me do this last one. We're out of here. All right. Well, this is an interesting shot. Kind of dark, but a little interesting. Let's hit auto. Yeah, I think I'd open up those shadows some more so you can see these walls. Let's increase the contrast.
Yep.
Let me do the auto whites and auto blacks and see what that does. Not much of anything. I really like those beams. This is kind of an interesting shot. Let's increase the texture and clarity. Bring out, because you have all this detail and texture, but the whole inside is just not bright enough. Like even if I go to 100 on the shadows. Now I know that we're trying to draw your eye down here. So you don't want to make this too bright, but I'm telling you, I think it needs a little something, something. Let me go to the brush. Let's go to exposure. I'm gonna make it really big. We're gonna make sure auto mask isn't on so this happens quickly. Now I'm not gonna leave it this bright, folks. Don't worry. And then we can dial in the right amount. Maybe something more like that. And then hit it with a vignette down here in the effects panel to darken away those edges. And we didn't do a whole bunch there. The only thing I'd probably do is,
Nice.
let me just throw a topaz on it. Man, my computer's running slow.
Oh, yeah. Usually your computer's like super fast.
Not today. Let's run that sharpen AI. Did it just crash? Did, didn't it? It said it's too sharp already.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, it's just not going to run.
I think, honestly, this is the time of the show where we go, we got to reboot. So we're just going to...
Yes, we're just going to call
close
it.
out
All right,
this
who
round.
are our winners for prizes,
Yeah.
Mr. K?
So we've got Dan Mancuso's winning the Platypod disc, not the one that's on the desk, because that one will be in Prague. And then Jason Taylor's winning the travel photography book. Glenna Lamphere is winning the Lightroom Classic book. And then Jessica in MI is winning the On-One Effects. And then Anita K is winning the Boris Effects Optics. And if you just if you want, just email us over there at gridprize@kelby1.com. We'll verify your information and then send you out your prize.
Alrighty, well, we went way over, 22 minutes over, so yikes. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I will not be on the grid next week because that by the time you watch the grid with Eric next week,
I think we have a special guest next week. Do we? Yes, we have some special guests.
Karen
So
Hutton,
special
what?
guests. Maybe we won't tell you all the guests.
Oh, Ann Hilmar and
Oh,
Marigold.
boy.
Oh, three of my favorite
Oh,
people.
boy.
I miss all three of them.
Wah, wah, wah.
By the time you guys are watching Eric, I will be having dinner in a fabulous restaurant with all of my peeps. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited.
I'm excited for you. It's going to be great. And it's going to be great that you're able to do those classes for Kelby 1 as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited about those as well. So I'm doing a class on shooting travel interiors.
Yeah.
So palaces, museums, opera houses, cathedrals, all those things that you
I'm
wind
really
up-
excited because Scott, you're really good at that. I mean, we have a whole gallery over
love
there.
those. Yeah,
and
I love those
it's
interior
just
shots.
like you're really. I mean, that's
Thank
this
you.
is my
I love
favorite
it.
stuff.
I love it. And I'm also going to do a class on just the post-processing of those images. So one class on shooting and one class on post-processing.
Awesome.
And then when I get back, I will do a class called Where to Shoot in Prague.
Yeah, and I love those classes. I know people love those classes too because if we travel to those cities, it gives us a little roadmap or guide.
You know, it's funny, Eric. I'm in Paris.
Yep.
And there's a guy over there shooting, and my wife starts talking to him, and they're like, oh, you're a photographer? Yeah. And they're talking, and he says, so yeah, we got this book by Scott Kelby, we watched this class from Scott Kelby, and he said, this is a good spot. And my wife's like, that's him right there. That's the guy right there. And then we're there, we meet another guy that's there.
That's funny.
That is, like, two people were there shooting in this one spot in Paris and I got the spot from Serge Remilly. Serge took me there, and I put it in my class called Where to Shoot in Paris. And I give you the directions, the street directions, the GPS
all the
coordinates,
behind the scenes things too.
everything. Like
What you need.
what things cost and all
Yep.
that. Because sometimes you have to buy a ticket or something, Anyway,
Or know the secret handshake.
that's all coming out, the secret handshake. Very excited about all of it. And Jason is coming with me, and that's going to be a lot of fun having him there.
Oh yeah.
So anyway.
Hopefully he doesn't fall into any cacti.
Yeah, I'm keeping I'm keeping him out of the cacti. That is our shirts that we say,
Yes.
keep Jason out of the cacti. All right. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to our crew here for coming in and doing all this today. And you'll see Eric next Wednesday right here in
Looking
the
forward
grid.
to it.
Take
All
care,
right.
everybody. 3 great guests next week.